In Shaun Micallef's On the Source, his new documentary series, my older, handsomer ABC colleague travels the country asking the question most of us only get to when we're hungover. Why do Australians drink so much?
Personally, I don't understand alcohol. I just don't get it. It tastes funny and I'm not very good at it. But my children are approaching drinking age, so what advice can I give them about drinking if I don't understand it?
Shaun Micallef, welcome back to The Weekly.
Well, thank you very much, Charlie. I've never been on the show, have I?
No, you chopped down the set once.
Yeah. I don't count that as actually appearing on the show. I think hacking my way through your set and intruding on your last episode doesn't count.
Bye for now. Right, let's start at the beginning. You are a teetotaler?
Yeah, I never thought of myself as one, but I guess that's what I guess I don't drink, so therefore that's what I am.
Is it hard in Australia to be a non-drinker?
Well, it does have its... I don't know whether it's peculiar to Australia or not, but alcohol does seem to have its claws in most things. So if you're celebrating a landmark birthday or any event in your life, if you're commiserating with somebody, if you have a birth, if you have a death, almost every emotional moment can conceivably be a legitimate cause for having a drink. So you do have to make a decision if you don't want to, and I would suggest maybe you don't even really have to think about it if you do want to drink.
So how did you end up being a person that decides not to drink?
I guess I didn't drink until I was 18. My 18th birthday was the first time I had a drink. Some of my friends thought it would be amusing to buy me some beers. I remember my parents took me out to dinner, and I'd only had 2 beers. I swear, Charlie, it was only 2 beers. And I'm sitting in the back of the car, and my mother leaned over to my father and said, "He's been drinking." So there was shame from the very outset. In fact, so I never talked about alcohol at all with my parents.
You also, though, in the series, you catch up with an old friend who discusses what you were like back in your drinking days.
Yes.
Was that, if you'll pardon the expression, a sobering thought?
Yeah, I was happy to take someone else's narration of what I was like, because I felt that if I simply gave my version of it, I would probably make myself seem a bit more charming than I really was.
When you said, "Hey, I'm going to drink," because that's the way you spoke.
It's an uncanny impersonation.
Thank you. You decided I'm going to drink, and so you did.
Yeah.
That's right. You said, "I'll just scull a bottle of scotch, Bon Scott style."
No, I never drank.
And turn up to the party.
No, that's not my memory at all.
You'd be at the party, but "Hi, how are you? Hi, how are you going?" And this giant lumbering, just bumping into things.
I'd be seriously inebriated.
Yeah, but you wouldn't be picking brawls and that sort of thing.
No,
You'd just be smiling and pushing over fridges.
Alex is a good friend. We've known each other for years. He's a very funny fellow, but he's also not going to mince words, and he's also not going to lie. And I was actually uncomfortable with the stories he was telling.
You vomited on what appeared to be a deerskin rug.
Oh.
People would say, "Here's what happened, Shaun." And you'd say, "Oh, I can't remember any of this."
No, I do remember that now.
You're getting your money's worth.
Gee, that's awful.
Now, another thing I wanted to ask you about, you were on Q&A the other night.
No, how was I?
You were terrific.
I haven't watched it back yet.
But one thing came up, you were talking about cancel culture in light of Chris Lilly being removed from Netflix.
Yeah.
And you said it's probably wise to go over your back catalogue and do a bit of an audit.
Well, Mad as Hell's been running 9-10 years now. And I think if the ABC decided to make it all available on iView, I would welcome the opportunity to sit down with the ABC and maybe just look at things and see how they land now, and stuff that's even older, more so.
This is a new problem, though, for comedians to have to deal with, isn't it?
I think it's perfectly reasonable to look back and think, well, that's for whatever reason, and it's not just necessarily questions of race or gender issues. It can be a whole bunch of things that just simply don't play anymore. And I know it's a minor thing, because in the great scheme of things, what difference does a few television shows or a few sketches or whatever, what doesn't make any difference at all. But to a certain extent, if that stuff goes out again, then the next generation will think, oh, it's fine. Unless you've got a warning up there or something that
something
just
to contextualise it or whatever.
Gives it a new context, I think it perpetuates part of the problem.
Or even the other way, if they have the wherewithal to know that that's not appropriate, they think we're a bunch of old bigots.
Maybe we are. I mean, what do you and I know about what it is to be discriminated against because of your gender or because of your race or the way you look or how able you are or how disabled you are? You know, we don't really, emotionally we don't know, but we have a pretty fair idea.
That's really interesting.
I don't think so. just a trite observation by a very old man.
Shaun Micallef's On the Source premieres Tuesday, 21st of July at 8:30 p.m. on ABC and iView. Shaun Micallef, thank you so much for stopping by.